is Beni.
And this is Dhruv. And today we are going to review the trailer of the Nigerian movie called The Last Flight to Abuja. This is actually an old movie. It's a 2012 movie. If I read the IMDb, it says mid-air difficulties force a Nigerian commercial plane into an emergency landing with devastating consequences. The director is Obi Emelonye. Writers are Tunde Babalola. Story is also by Obi Emelonye and Amaka Obi Emelonye. It stars Omotola Jalade Ekeinde, Hakeem, Kae-Kazim, Jim, Iyke, and many more. Okay, that was a mouthful. But you know, one thing I do realize, it's very common to find Nigerian directors who also write their own stories. They've also written this.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the storytelling, I think, probably better because it's your own story. I mean, you fabricated the story and you're directing it. I think it's a plus point.
Right. But this is, I think, the oldest movie we are also reacting to.
If you only have...
Please.
Flamingo Flight 212. Can you hear me?
Change your style when you come down from beggar.
When something like this happens, when there's some disaster, I like how movies generally take they portray different people, their lives, or the problems they're going through, or that point of time when they enter a flight, for example, what they are going through. I mean, every person is dealing with their own demons, or maybe expecting some grand news or something. Everybody comes into a flight in a different mode, and something then like this happens, a disaster, a tragedy, an emergency, and how all these people who are strangers to each other, suddenly they get linked to each other, and maybe it's their last day on earth, it's their last time or moment on earth, and they're all together. Complete strangers, but this is what they have. They have each other. You often find that in such circumstances, strangers help each other out. You don't even know the person, but you're really out there. You reach out, you try to help, right? And some people react in a different manner. But another thing, one of the pilots was a woman. The tower person was a woman. I love that about Nigeria and Nigerian movies, how, women are everywhere. Women have prominent roles. I mean, fine, Nigeria may be a developing country economically, but I would call Nigeria a developed country when it comes to women power. I love that about Nigeria.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, that it was not until that I saw that scene that I realized that every time we see pilots, it's always male. It's always males. And this was the first time I saw in mainstream that there was a woman pilot, and then the person at the tower was a woman in traditional wear, which I thought was very, very cool. At least in the film industry does take women very seriously, as Kae-Kazim said that 80% of consumers of movies are women, and that is such a huge cultural change. If the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry can set various kinds of trends. They can set fashion trends, they can set culture trends, they can set so many kind of trends. Yeah, representation matters, so that is very cool. The other thing is, it says that there were a bunch of tragedies that hit Nigerian air, like planes at a certain time, and I wonder what that was, because this does seem like an isolated story. I also don't know what the reason was, and that's a good thing. You shouldn't know from a trailer. You want to find that out, and this makes me want to see the movie.
Yeah.
So I do want to see like what the reason was and why there was, and was this an isolated reason, or or was it a coincidence that all these different kinds of tragedies happened at around the same time? So that does intrigue me a lot. I do think that the trailer did get a little slow paced in a certain section where they're like, yeah, flight taking off. They showed the whole flight take off in the trailer. And then, it was like they were showing the movie in a trailer. The trailer could have been a little better, I feel, but this is from 2012, so we also have to realize we are looking at something from how many years ago? 9 years ago. So
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't feel that my perspective is this. I don't feel that the trailer went slow over here. I feel they are telling the story over here. It's like building anticipation. What is going to happen? Because this is about a plane crash or a plane emergency. So the takeoff is like you're expecting something to happen, and if they show it a bit the way they did it, I didn't think that slowed down the trailer. That's my perspective.
Yeah, the difference of opinion, but I did think that it was very interesting. Just looking at the trailer, it didn't feel like it was 9 years older. Like it felt like a recent movie, so it looked pretty good. The actors seemed good, and I like these kind of stories where there is not one hero or one heroine. It's a story about different people. All of them have an equal part in the story. It's a story about all these people on a flight with different backgrounds, different backstories, and how they get connected by tragedy. And also how we have talked about this before as well, that in times of hardship, true human nature comes out, whether it's good or bad. One of the examples, I think, was like when kind of 9/11 did happen, 2 planes crashed into the Twin Towers, but there was one that was supposed to hit, I think, in DC, the Capitol building. 2 hijackers were in the cockpit, and these passengers, they had that mental stability to make a decision like that, because as we were saying in one of our trailers, that when you're panicked or in survival mode, you can't think like that. But they also, maybe because it was a longer duration that they knew this was happening, so they had kind of maybe time to process it, but they decided, this way, if we don't do anything, we are definitely going to die. So let's try to do something, because otherwise we are definitely dying. And if we try to at least break into the cockpit, we have a chance of survival. So when they tried to do that, the plane didn't go into the Capitol, it crashed. So they all did die, but it saved other lives who were not on the plane, which I thought was just amazing, like unbelievable.
So it's like, if you're going to die, at least make your life death count. Anytime there's a plane crash movie or mention of a plane crash, something like this, of course you think of 9/11. That's what came to my mind too. And what I remember was a video I saw. It was a video from somebody's cell phone or something. There was the blast, everything shook up, and everybody started running in the direction opposite to the blast. But instantly, a cop, the spontaneous reaction of this cop was to run towards the explosion. How does that come spontaneously? This is what is amazing. I mean, you can train people, but spontaneously to act like that is not something you can really train. It needs to be in you, that, yes, that's my duty. This is what I'm supposed to do. It comes like a reflex action. And that is something that never leaves my mind. Whenever I think of 9/11, that's what I remember.
Right.
So I was thinking, in this plane emergency, I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how trained you are, no matter what your post is, but you're a human being. You would be scared for your life. And yet you have a post. If you're a captain, you have a huge responsibility. Everybody's life depends on you. And again, there's a captain and a co-captain. So the main captain, he is responsible for even the staff and the passenger. So it's a point of time where you don't have the time to care for yourself. Your duty comes first. I mean, you have to think about the other people.
Right.
And how human beings are able to do that is just lovely. I just love that. you know, how you're able to put others before you in times of need. I think that's why humans are humans. You know, you are able to do that. That's wonderful about human beings.
Yeah, and especially being a commercial pilot is a different story. I mean, I know Air Force pilots are one story where they, like, you have to be that person who puts others' lives above yourself. But being a commercial pilot, many people go, it's a high income job, you know, it's not just that. So when a commercial pilot does that, that's even like a step above, you know. And we have seen this. There was one of the prime ministers, and the plane was going to crash, and to save his life, the commercial pilot dived face first, so that the prime minister was at the back, and so he killed himself rather than risking the prime minister's life. That is that is a different kind of a human being. That those are rare people. Yeah, and the other thing I always think is the likelihood of you surviving most other things is higher than a plane, things with the plane going wrong. The likelihood of surviving that is lower than most things we know of, most things normal people know of, whether it's driving a vehicle or walking or whatever. The likelihood of something going wrong in air is so it's even higher pressure for the pilot. It's very interesting, and the trailer does definitely successfully intrigue me into trying to find out like what went on, why this happened, where those different incidents connected, or was it a coincidence? Like, definitely is a cliffhanger. All right, guys, so if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel. Also, actually go ahead and like our video and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. We usually do that on Mondays. And leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing, or if there are other interesting movies you want us to review. Until next time, फिर मिलेंगे.